What's the biggest risk you've ever taken, and did it pay off? Going to medical school at age 42. Yes, it paid off. I heard a news story of another person who did this. Finished medical school at age 47. He was previously an auto mechanic, but had always really wanted to be a doctor. When asked what was the point of starting medical school so late, he responded with, "Those future years will pass regardless of what I spend them doing. I might as well spend them doing what I really want to do." IMO in that same vein, I think generally speaking it is never too late to start doing whatever you love to do, figure out what you want, finish goals, or meet your dearest friends. I quit my job, with a wife and 2 kids, to sell frisbees on the internet. It's not going poorly. 10-year goal is to end up being those weird people on House Hunters who have a $1.5 million budget while selling frisbees and working part-time for a non-profit. Sold all my possessions and moved to another country to pursue personal and professional growth, including grad school. That was 5 years ago, and I am currently within 1 year of finishing my PhD, looking forward to transitioning to the next stage of my career in life, having accomplished what I came here to do.
Got on Bumble, went on a date that was not my type at all, but turned into my best friend and husband. First date? Hot Ones challenge mid-pandemic on a day when my city had a curfew because of a riot. Got stuck at his house, stayed. Perfect gentleman. In love in 3 dates. Married with great joy.
I bailed on my family visiting from America to go on a first date with a girl. We've been married 7 years this year. I was making $50K in retail, and quit to take a $30K job in IT. I now make $150K, working 1/3 as hard as I did in the shopping mall. I was a kid that nearly failed pre-calc in high school but still wanted to do engineering. It paid off, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone else unless they were extremely driven. At times it was not good for my mental health. Just because I am a good engineer now and enjoy it, I'd look at someone with such a low chance of success and wonder what the hell they were doing with such a low chance of making it.
I was working as a classroom aide in an RSP class. SPED director saw me working and asked if I wanted to go back to school and become the new RSP teacher at another school in our district. I would start working immediately without any real schooling besides my undergrad in film. Wasn't ever really planning on going back to school getting my bachelor's 6 years prior. Decided to try it out, and 5 years later I'm still working as an RSP teacher, got my credential, and going back to school in the fall for my master's. Went from making about $2,000 a month working 2 jobs to making over $5,000 a month with full benefits, pension, and it's only about a 10-minute commute. It was terrifying and scary to go back to school and to be responsible for so many legal documents and students when I had no experience, but it was the best decision of my life.
What is RSP?
Resource Specialist Teacher, Special Education Teacher. Basically, I work in collaboration with general education teachers for students on IEPs. The majority of them have learning disabilities, many with dyslexia, ADHD, autism, emotionally disturbed, etc.
Leaving my ex. I left without a single thing to my name. I left all my furniture that I paid for because I just was so done. I don't regret it. I went to college without having stepped into a classroom prior. To keep it short, I was raised under unique circumstances. It wasn't easy. It was hard for me, but I stuck around long enough to get an MS in writing. Was it worth it? Yeah. I make more money as a working writer than most of my peers.
I left a bad situation with my son with no place to go 7 years ago. We started over and have built a nice life, and now we are about to move to a different country where a new life is waiting for us. A beautiful home and supportive people around us.
Moving to a different state with $200 in my pocket and a piece of crap car. That was 25 years ago, and I'm thriving without any help from my parents or other family.
Quit my shitty agency job, left my dull relationship, bought a camper van, traveled the country, landed in California, learned to sail at this volunteer sailing club, jumped on a rich British couple's sailboat as crew, sailed the South Pacific, landing in New Zealand where I traveled in a rented Subaru until the pandemic hit. Selling my house and moving my family halfway across the country to take a career-changing internship. We ended up moving back, but it kicked off a really great and lucrative career that makes me happy.
Started a YouTube channel. Now I'm a full-time YouTuber. Around 8 years ago, I was really into trading CS, Go skins, and had traded my way up to a decent total value. I ended up checking out one of those CS, Go casino sites, and for some dumb reason, I did a coin flip with all the value from a knife I deposited, around $250 at the time, and won. So, I just rebought the knife and did another coin flip with the money I won and won another time. I did this maybe 10 to 15 times in a row before I eventually lost a flip and then just bought new knives for all of it. It was fun, but would not do it again. Gave up a good paying job to go freelance. I had zero experience running a business, and I had 3 kids to feed. By pure luck, I landed a director of Pepsi as a client in my first week. I managed to keep the business going for 20 years before returning to the corporate world 5 years ago. I broke up with my fiancée to give it one more shot with my high school sweetheart. We've been married for 15 years. So glad I took the chance. Moved to a big city after school for a woman I had only just started to get to know during exam season. No money, no job, etc. Got a job not long after getting there thanks to a random connection, my education background, and a bit of luck. Not only did I not die of starvation, but I am now happily married to that woman, and I have an amazing circle of friends that I credit to that move. It was a couple of years after I moved there that I realized how stupid a risk that was, all for this woman. I'm so happy I did it though, best choice I've ever made. I took an $80,000 a year pay cut to take a job where they offered me a lot of stock. I took it because I knew that the private equity company that owned them had a great track record. The company sold, and I basically retired from the stock payout. I took the job that I have now because I was married and we were struggling financially. I was miserable and so stressed out. I was paying for my ex's schooling out of pocket, and because she was in school, I couldn't work a normal job. I was responsible for getting my daughter ready for school, taking them both to school, and then picking both of them up. I would work for Favor and DoorDash in the meantime. I took the job, but it was going to take me out of town for a week initially. It would be difficult, but she only has 1 week left of school, so I thought she could sacrifice some sleep for 1 week. She didn't give me the opportunity. She told me while I was gone that she was leaving, among other things. It killed me, but I knew that it was good for us, and so many of my supporters were telling me that I did the right thing. I have been with the company for almost 3 years. I get paid to travel the country, I have awesome benefits, and I don't have to pay bills anymore. I found out months later that she was having an affair that started a month before we split up. So yes, it paid off.
I met my husband right after my divorce from my ex, and while he was separated but still technically married. Sounds like I was about to rebound my way into pathetic mistress status, but my gut was telling me he was the one. I took a risk and went on a date with him, which turned into a weekend, which resulted in his divorce papers finally getting filed the next week. Within a month we moved in together. We married a year later, 2 weeks after his divorce was final. That was 19 years and 2 kids ago, and we're still bonkers for each other. We've built an amazing life together. And all because I chose to trust him when he asked me to.
Probably asking for what I was worth in a job interview. Had a job. I hated it. Was criminally underpaid. Don't work at a megachurch. Kids. Went on a job interview to get out of there and they liked me. We sat down, and the hiring manager said the job pays X. And I had done research and knew the median in this town was 20% more than that. So, risking a job, I asked for X plus 20% and got it. Emptied out an old 401k to have enough money to leave Texas and move to Seattle. I'm a left-wing Mexican, so I'm fairly certain that Texas will literally not be safe for people like me to live in very much longer. So far, it's paying off pretty well. I'm living in a hotel for now, but I have a job already, and I'm working on getting an actual apartment. And well, friends, that was all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, let me know with a thumbs up so that YouTube can share these stories with more people. Remember to hit the bell icon to be the first to know when we upload a new video. See you next time.